Hey everyone, it is Elsa932 on YouTube. Thank you for joining me. This is episode 2, season 2 of Love is Blind Germany. Please make sure you have hit that like button, you are subscribed to the channel, and leave a comment below if this episode definitely moves you, because we already have one couple, one proposal. We're on our way, okay? So let's start off. Episode 2. We start episode 2 with Konstantin and Jesse. He's saying it's too good to be true. He's scared that they will expose things and feelings once they get further and further, and this house of cards are going to fall apart. He said issues do need to be addressed, and his future wife needs to have certain information about him. So he said there was a phase in his life where he lost himself. He was partying a lot, but that's not who he is today. And a year and a half ago, he had a health issue. They found a brain tumor. It was malignant, okay? He had a 13-hour surgery. He's partially deaf in one ear, but he does wear a hearing aid, and you cannot see it. He said it's all good, and, he doesn't want to think about it all day, every day, but it's something she needs to know if they're going to move on together. Now, Jessie was awesome. She said she is grateful that he is here, grateful she has met him, and wants to be by his side for a lifetime, no matter how long that is. Oh, this was such a beautiful moment, y'all. It is giving me all the feels of love. Yes, we are here. So he goes out into the hall and he hugs someone. He says he's in love. And in the men's lounge, he declares that he is in love to everyone. Okay. Now we meet new couple. Y'all see the couples right here. Jan is, or they call him Yan, is a 27-year-old law student. We see him with a collage of dates, including Anastasia, who is 25, a communications consultant. He said he is bursting with love, just bursting, and is the last piece that's missing in his life. And, we see these dates and he is very, very awkward. He asks Andrea, what does your, locked phone screen look like? She said it's her cat. He said he used to have his turtle. Okay. Then he asked another lady, are you willing to tell me what your keychain looks like? She's like, no. I mean, it was a very dry no. So I need to know what happened preceding this part of the conversation. Next, he says, hey, he speaks many languages. He's been learning Chinese for 3 years. And he asked the lady, are you interested in other languages? She's like, no, not really. I was like, oh my word, why are y'all showing us Jan striking out all this time? And in the women's lounge, the ladies do say, he is so nice, but my neighbor's nice. Ooh, ouch. Netflix, Love is Blind. Y'all are showing us that Jan don't know how to date out here. In the men's lounge, she said he feels like the women are not happy to see him when he shows up for dates. Ooh, daggers. And I'm like, he looking so sad in the men's lounge, like he like gonna, ain't nobody here for me. Okay. He said he hates the feeling of not being enough. And, he doesn't want those feelings to come back. And he's felt this early on in life. It seems to me you're talking more than just dating, Jan. It seems to me, but we're going to have to learn more about you. He said he is the epitome of the friend zone. The girls just see him as a nice guy. Now, there's a difference, y'all, between a nice guy and a good guy. Now, is Jan really just a nice guy? Because nice guy doesn't necessarily mean good guy. Think about it. Now, Gunnar said, if you feel you are enough, then you will be enough for plenty of women. And y'all remember, Gunnar has his own limitations in this lounge, in this experiment too, because the ladies want kids and he does not want any. We see Jan has a date with Lone, 26-year-old HR manager. Now they say like Loan, and I'm going to try to remember it's Loan, okay? They laugh a lot. He does admit he is the youngest guy there. They do bond on the fact that age is irrelevant and you need to be mature and be able to grow as a person. Now, he says he is drawn to women who are open to sharing their feelings quite clearly and quite openly. Now, you know why that is, because he needs to know that he's enough, so he needs those words. Now, Lawan is single for 2 years and is looking forward to marriage. She said she can show feelings quickly and, needs a partner who does the same. Okay, this sounds like a match. Okay? There isn't too much about them, but they're sounding good. We see Yasmin and Dustin. says that he has a calming effect on her, and she wants to get deeper. Now, he says, she asked him about kids, and he says, my mom really wants to be a grandma. Sir, do you want kids? Your mama wants you to have kids, but do you want kids, Dustin? That's very interesting, but remember, he teaches high school, so maybe that's why he ain't too keen on kids, okay? So she says she is 30. She wants to have more than one, maybe 3 to 5 kids, and she can't waste no time. He tells us that his upbringing was very harmonious. His parents worked hard and gave them their life, okay? Now, when he's saying his life was harmonious, I wonder if he's looking at it from a child's lens and point of view. But again, he may be romanticizing it. So she shared her hard life, and he gives her an idea of what his family life is like and can be like. And she's romanticizing it because his parents are wonderful. They are in love. They're still together, and they're having a wonderful relationship. And you can see like the hearts in her eyes for this. Like, this is what she wants. So she's falling for Dustin. Girl, that's his parents. That's not him and you. Now, she says, hearing about his family makes him really attractive. I'm worried that she just sees the family and falling for the family and not really for Dustin. In a men's lounge, Dustin mentions her name and how great the date was. Again, why are we talking about the dates? Why are we mentioning names? Well, we see Andy, and he said he is here to get over his fear of commitment. Andy, this is not the place for you to get over your fear of commitment. This is not the place for that. I'm sorry. You need to go home. You need to go home, Andy, please. In a women's lounge, Andy's name is floating around, and they are side-eyeing each other because there are 3 women in there looking for Andy. I was like, no, including Yasmin. The 2 on the side of him and Yasmin, who's right below him in the pictures right here. Now, Yasmin says that Andy has been her favorite, and she feels a spark with him. Careful, Yasmin. Spark starts fire, and fire turns things to ash. I'm sorry. So she feels like he sees her soul, and a man would be happy to be with her. He does tell her on their date that trust in a relationship is hard for him. He never had a good example of a good relationship or family, what that would be like. Bio dad left, and then mom married again. That's his story. And when he was, married again when he was 2, and then that guy left as well. He just left one day. Okay? Left one day. No goodbyes. I said, daggone it. Now we understand his fear of commitment. He's thinking people will leave. Okay, I understand you, Andy, but this is not the place to get a woman to kind of like plug the hole for the replacement of the dad that left. Now, she tells him that she, grew up today. She is who she is today because of all the adversities that she had while growing up. Now, her dad was a hoarder, and only the bathroom was normal in their home. No furniture, no bed, just boxes and bags. She says she does still have contact with her dad, still to this day, which is very interesting. And I wonder how that relationship is. Now, Andy says, even in weakness, he wants to be strong and to stand by her and with her. Now, his comforting words to her sound cookie cutter. It sounds like Andy is again in the Mr. Pageant, he's doing the pageantry answers. That's what it sounds like from Andy. Okay. But he asks her, am I in your top 3? Andy, you don't know if she even has 3 guys she's interested in. She technically only has 2 that we know of. So to ask if you in her top 3, are you telling her that you got a 3 count? In a woman's lounge, Yasmin says that she sees that he has a lot of irons in the fire and she could get hurt. Yasmin, I'm so glad that you realize that. And they play the song Closer to the Flame because Yasmin, if you stick with Andy, you might get burned. I'm sorry. Constantine and Jesse, okay, they talk about how they were meant to meet. He quotes a line from the soccer team's song. Remember, his dad helped create the song. Her granddad was an absolute fanatic. And here's the thing. He just uses that line about stronger together in his proposal. While Constantine propose to Jesse? She says yes. In the men's lounge, when he comes in yelling and screaming, they all jump him and they jump in by the door. They are happy and congratulating him. In the women's lounge, they do the same for her. Josie says she's happy. And she, hopefully she'll have the same with Jubria. I was like, Josie, are you sure that's who you want to have it with? She says she's missing the spark with Gunner. So I'm like, okay, girl, you better hurry up because that's Wendy's man too. Okay. Josie and Gunner have a date. Now Gunner says he is worried that she won't date him anymore. She said, no, we have so much to talk about. I was like, Josie, are you using Gunner as a placeholder? Let's see. So she asked, are you vegan? He said, yes. She's like, vegan from Berlin. There are a lot of left-wing vegans who wear Doc Martens and their jeans are a little high above their ankles. Y'all, when production shows us that Gunner is pulling his jeans down to cover his ankles, I said, Josie, you have clocked him. You have clocked that Gunner is cookie cutter, except for not wanting kids. But Gunner, who are you? If you're the standard guy in Berlin, who are you, like, really deep down? So she's worried that they may not be 100% compatible. He's a nice guy, but, she can come across as too strong or too intense for him. He says, I can tell you how masculine I am, but, you'll continue to see me as weak. You have to see me as strong. Okay? He's not going to rattle off a whole list of things that he has done to prove masculinity. She says she really cannot deal with a passive or indecisive man. Like, if I ask you where we going for dinner, I don't know, honey, what do you want? She don't want a man like that. He says he understands how she can see him, and he understands if the excitement is missing. The song they play is, I knew the day would come, we would say goodbye. Now, she admits that in a hallway, she's talking to another lady. She admits that telling a man that he's not masculine enough is like telling a woman she's not feminine enough. She said, it's the worst thing you can say. Now she feeling bad. And I'm like, But Josie, you looking for more than that, girl. It's not masculinity you looking for as well. You're also looking for ethnic compatibility. Remember, she was talking about her challenges growing up with, not knowing her dad and dad's side of the family. And I'm saying challenges with, coming to terms and knowing who she is in her blackness. This is what I have seen based on what they have shown us about Josie, okay? He tells her that, hey, we have a few days left and to give it a chance. Okay? She says she doesn't know how else she could have said it. She doesn't know how else she could have told Gunner she needs more oomph from him. He says he feels helpless because she might be the one for him, but he can do nothing about what she's going through right now. Now we have the reveal now of Jesse and Constantine. He really likes her, okay? And he's walking real fast to her. She is hesitant at first, but I think they like each other, okay? She grabs his face, he leans in, and they kiss each other on sight. But he gets on his knees, y'all. Constantine gets on his knees and he sighs. He takes his time and proposes again, I'm like, dude, you need a doctor. You don't need a proposal, please. And this is not a slight or joke about his medical condition, but he's just breathing too hard for me. He looks like he's about to faint over. But they hug and they kiss a lot. When they're sitting on the bench to talk afterwards, they are facing each other. They are holding each other's hand. They're in each other's space. You know what? I'm loving this. They say the family is going to look forward to this, pairing and getting together. But I think these two like each other. Y'all, please, Constantine and Jesse, please really like each other. I like the proposal. I like the fact that they are into each other, but it could just be the first time reveal. What are your thoughts on this? Now, Andy is listing out, back in the men's lounge, she's listing out all the ladies that he is dating and wants to have more conversations with. And then let his gut decide. Okay, Andy, let's see how this pans out. First, he goes to see Celia, okay? And Celia said, would your friends include me in everything completely? Celia, what have you been left out of? Have you had a partner that left you in the cold to go hang with his friends? That's what it sounded like. Andy said, you are my wife and you'll be included, but if my single friends want to go out till 3 a.m., he'll probably come home by 1. She's like, oh, I'll probably let you go out till 3 a.m. Girl, you don't know this man. Don't tell him this. Don't commit to this, because you know what might happen when you go back out there. If y'all are together, he going to be like, well, you told me I could come back home by 3 a.m. in the pods. Don't do it, Celia. Please. Okay? So then she asked, how do you handle jealousy? And he's like, hey, I'll handle it, that I'll let you handle it. But if I see you talking too long to someone, I may become alpha. Okay? If you're talking to that man too much in the club. And she says she needs a man to show a certain level of dominance to make her feel safe. Is that safe? Okay, I don't know. What kind of dominance? Because if he's showing dominance to the other person, careful, Celia, that dominance may turn onto you. He said he is dating a few women, but there's a special vibe with us, Celia. There's a special intensity. And I'm like, Andy, you're playing games. You're playing games. In the women's lounge, Celia comes back talking about how great and wonderful the date was with Andy. And Naja is sitting right there listening. And she said, hey, we are so different. We are so different. And he's feeling her. What's going on? Then we see Andy and Naja in their date. Okay. And she says she was hoping to see him. Okay. And asks if he's ever lived with a woman. Good question. They joke about the question. And he said, oh, I thought you were going to ask if I'd ever slept with a woman. They joke about that. And he gets flustered. He's like, oh, I'm imagining all kinds of things. Oh, my God, I thought you were going to ask if I slept with a woman. And the talk derails into physical intimacy. But then she brings him back. And he says long ago, he had a woman that had her stuff at his place, but she stayed at her parents'. His mind is still going on and on with what he thought she was going to ask him. So here's my question about the way he phrased the woman had her stuff at his place. When would it become our place, Andy, if a woman was to move in with you? Okay? Or will it always be your place? Now, Andy does say that Naja is fiery and open-hearted and it would be a great fit, but they need to continue to talk. And they need to continue this intimate talk. And she says she can feel the intimacy tension in the room. Y'all know how I feel about this. Anytime we talk about this too early in the show, this means it's going to derail. Because his mind is clouded, your mind is clouded, and y'all don't pick up on the seriousness of it. In the men's lounge, he says, the ranking is getting harder and harder. I bet that ain't the only thing. Let me digress, okay? Okay. Now we see Loan and Jean. She says she writes her thoughts whenever she is dealing with conflict or a heightened situation. She either journals, she needs to take a moment to herself to really sort through what she wants to say. It's not going to take long. She said it's not going to take days, but she also talks to her friends and family. Okay? He feels the same, and he said he has a weird green flag. He said he likes a woman who uses grammar correctly. Now remember, he's a linguist, so I could see that. That's not weird, considering you're a linguist. Jan, I need to know who's made you feel this way about yourself, because it seemed deep-rooted. Now, Loan says she is an overthinker and needs an over-communicator, okay? And it feels easy with him. Now, he likes to talk. He knows languages, Loan, so I'm guessing this would be a great communicator, but we're not sure yet. So we see Jabriel, and he says that Wendy's is number one, but he's still interested in others, okay? Now, he does ask Wendy on their date, what is your favorite body part for the opposite sex and yourself? And Wendy says she loves a man's back, a very strong back. She says her back and her lips are her best feature, okay? He says, what clothes make you feel sexy? And I'm like, sir, are you trying to get a look at her? You're trying to see her without seeing her. I give you an A for, ingenuity at the way you're doing it. But sir, I could clock it. I already see it. But she says she likes a gym fit. And he's like, ooh. And then she says undies as well. He said, what color underwear? Too much, Jabriel. Too physical. And he talks about intimacy. And he likes to have it any and everywhere in the apartment. I said, no. Here we go again. Okay. She does share that she is not free with her intimacy. She does need emotions attached to it. and there has been inhibitions, okay? But she will be, free and open with her husband. And I'm glad you said that, Wendy, because if you think, Jabrielle, that you're going to get wife behavior out of a girlfriend, Wendy's telling you her husband will get all of her. I understand that. I love it. I love it. But something tells me that ain't it. That something tells me that she gon' fall for it, okay? But he said he doesn't want to stop now, but he doesn't want to stop with her, but he needs fire and passion in his marriage. I understand that, but Jabrielle, anything that burns real hot sometimes fizzles out. Now, he does have a date with Josie next. And she, admits that love with him will be different. They talk about physical closeness. He said, hey, he likes a woman who takes the lead, comes up to him and lets him know he is wanted, that she just tells him, yes, let's go do it. And she's like, yep, she likes the kitchen table too, but she's shy and laughing and giggly. And he said he likes being able to openly talk about intimacy with her. Okay. Yeah, I don't like this. Jabrielle, I'm trying not to think that you are this season's F-boy, but you're giving me them vibes. You and Andy. Now, in the men's lounge, he says he is shocked to hear Gunnar say he is also dating Josie. Okay, so at least we know Gunnar been keeping his mouth shut. He ain't been saying no names. Gunnar. Or maybe Jabrielle, you see, here's the thing. Remember they showed us like Gunnar was talking and it made us seem like Jabrielle heard him. He was not even in the room. Because if that was the case, he would have heard Gunnar say Josie's name. So Jabrielle, either he's lying or production is faking us out. So, but Jabrielle, you were quick to tell Gunnar, oh yeah, we had a good date. It was nice and all, but nothing frisky. We didn't talk about any frisky stuff. Yes, you did. Yes, you did, Jabrielle. We heard you. You did. Now, Gunnar shares Josie's concerns about him. Why, Gunnar, are you sharing the challenges? Because a man or a competitor can use that against you and get to Josie and amplify her concerns for you and get her on their side. Gunnar, I need you to hush. But he didn't hush. Let's get into it. So Gunnar does share Josie's concerns about him. Jabrielle says, will you spend the time always trying to prove you're strong enough? Because that wouldn't be for me. Gunnar's like, no, she got to figure that out. And Jabrielle says, you know what? You are the safe bet between us, but maybe she needs a little bit of rough around the edges, a little rough and tough and that's me. I was like, Jabrielle, are you trying to warn Gunnar away from your girl, from Josie? Okay. So Gunnar's like, she got to figure that out. And Jabrielle says, there's a lot of women out there for you. And Gunnar's like, but I want Josie. I like the fact Gunnar was not backing down from Jabrielle. I'm sorry, Jabrielle, you came in there and you were like, yeah, she needs rough and tumble. She needs rough and stuff with an afro puff. She needs rough and tumble, and that ain't you. And Gunnar's like, yeah, she got to figure that out. She is the one that will tell me she don't want me. And he's like, oh, there's other women out there for you. And Gunnar's like, no, I want Josie. I like that. It was a little bit of banter. I liked it. And next we see Gunnar has a date with Josie. Okay. He says he wants to be wanted by her. This is what he says in his confessional, but he's not sure if he's the best thing for her in the long run. And maybe she's lying to herself about this whole spark thing and spark developing, but he's looking forward to spending time with her. And on their date, Josie starts by saying, you know what? Since our last date, I have come to an epiphany. And that is the end of the episode. I hope you'll join me for my recap of episode 3. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel.